Welcome everybody to Ascension eSports' premiership Phoenix Diamond League. I'm the Doctor, being joined by good friend Wumbo here on the cast, and I'm excited because this is some of the highest level of play that we've been able to see.
Oh, absolutely. I really cannot wait to see the plays that these guys are going to pull out here. Haven't casted Diamond level League of Legends, so this is going to be really exciting for me.
Yeah.
I believe, I think there's something logistically that went wrong with both teams, so currently no bans right now are on the board. I believe they're just awaiting these one outs to throw in lanes, rather than banning, say, Galio, or as he is not usable on this patch, or Aatrox, Teemo, that sort of thing.
Yeah, both teams do only have one ban apiece, so they are going to be using that wisely, saving it for the last one. That being said, I'm excited because the lack of bans actually means that there's going to be a lot of power picks available.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely things like Camille, who's still strong even after the waves of nerfs. We've seen Vladimir have resurgences into competitive play, so I'm really excited to see what they pull out here, being so unrestricted in these picks.
And with the one ban coming out, it is a Janna ban, and I like it. I do like the Janna ban. Janna can become in a huge handy and just become pretty dominant in that bot lane, even with being as squishy as she is.
Yeah, it just really helps. We've seen a lot of things like Kha'Zix, Rengar, and extremely meta in the jungle, and Janna does a lot to thwart the sort of assassination potential that those champions hold.
Yeah, and I mean, with the current set of 80 carries, we're seeing a lot of Ashe, we're seeing a lot of Ezreal. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Vayne come out, maybe. Vayne's super strong again with the changes to the Blade of the Ruined King. But that's just in the bot lane. I think there's going to be power picks in just about every position this time around.
Yeah, same. And I honestly don't really know what to expect out of these players. Like I said before, this is my first time casting a Diamond League, and just my first time seeing these guys play at all. So I'm really, really excited to see if they can pull out some really flashy plays.
Now, we do get to find out the one ban for the red side. So I am curious to see what it's going to be. There's a lot of options left available to ban out. So while we do have this chance to talk about it, we do have Supernova Galaxy on the blue side, featuring Tavis, King, U-Stunned, Wispy, Seele, and Raccoon, facing off against Syndicate on the red side, featuring Wenner, Trebro, a Terrafate, Fully Noited, and 1-2-3 Stevano. At least I think that's how it's pronounced. But they actually didn't go with a ban. I thought they had a ban. They might have just said, "No, not going to use our one ban this time. Have fun. Pick whatever you want."
Yeah. Extremely respectful, but might be a little bit too disrespectful if they pull out something that ends up stopping them in the end. Should be pretty unfortunate. This looks like, Tavis is swapping all around, so can't really predict what they're going to go with on this one. I would expect them right now to go with a jungle first pick. I mean, even though the jungle pool hasn't really been glitched that much, there's a lot of really strong power picks in there that you might want to pick up first pick. But it looks like they are going to go with the Lulu, which is also seeing a resurgence, which is extremely strong in this meta right now.
Yeah, Lulu is pretty much the tier 1, tier 0 even support right now. Just so oppressive and super versatile in and out of lane. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Caitlyn pick early on the red side, just because Caitlyn Lulu is just such a problem to deal with.
Yeah, that poke and the level 1 push priority really, really pressures Syndicate's bot lane. It looks like Wenner is going to pick that one up for his team. They're also going to lock in the Graves there, so already you're seeing two extremely powerful picks on Syndicate's side.
Yeah, I do think that the Graves still one of the top level 80 jungle picks. Has not really taken too much of a hit lately. Still very, very strong. So it's gonna definitely stay right where it is. Caitlyn once again hitting tier 1 in the bot lane. Just so much poke and so much damage coming out now that we see Jhin and Varus mostly falling to the wayside. So definitely going to take that pick away. And Ashe is the pick for blue side. And I like the pick.
Yeah, already right now looking at Supernova Galaxy's team comp, just in Lu, Rengar, and Ashe, really liking the pick potential that they have here with the Ashe arrows, and then Rengar can easily follow up with his ultis.
Yeah, Rengar did fall out of favor a little bit, did eat some nerfs, so not quite exactly the #1 pick to be had, but it's still super strong, super versatile as well. Like I think I was talking about the Lulu. Plus that combination there is just so clutch. If we see a Shen come out, oh man, the plays are going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, and on the side of Supernova Galaxy, that team comp would be exalted if they were to get this Orianna pick that Syndicate is hovering right now. So if Syndicate locks that, that is one getting a strong pick as well as taking one away from Supernova Galaxy. So really intelligent. Ooh, and a Xin Zhao lock. I haven't seen Xin Zhao in a hell of a long time.
Yeah, that's actually super surprising to me. I don't see it. I'm curious what is like the thought process behind that pick.
Yeah, same actually, because considering what Supernova Galaxy have already drafted for themselves, Lulu, Ashe, picking a Xin Zhao when you're relatively low range and can be kited pretty easily seems to be a little bit of a disadvantage, but they're definitely confident to lock that one. Even though waiting for quite some time. So I think they have some confidence in that pick.
Yeah, I mean, the Xin Zhao, especially heading into an Ashe Lulu lane, I feel like he's going to have a lot of problems trying to get in onto the backline here. And it might end up biting him because of that. But Xin Zhao, if he can get to that backline, Ashe is super immobile. Rengar is going to be forced to dive in so he can get CC'd up and out of the way by the Xin Zhao, or even just thrown back. So it's something that, if it works, it's going to work very, very well.
Yeah, I could see that, and just on paper, thinking about the way that these ultimates like to synergize on the side of Syndicate, Xin Zhao's is kind of counterproductive towards Orianna's and Sona's, where he spreads them out instead of clumping them together.
So we do get kicked back to Team Select. I believe there might have been a placeholder pick. That was the word I was trying to find.
Yeah, the Xin Zhao, you mean?
Was the Xin Zhao a?
I feel like if there's any pick, it would be that one.
We will have to get the confirmation in just a minute, or we'll just run through it again, see what's actually going to be picked. I'd actually hate to see the Xin Zhao get thrown back, because it was an interesting pick that I would have really liked to watch.
Yeah, I agree completely, but maybe in this competitive setting, just a little bit less suboptimal.
Yeah. Now that we know what everybody's going to pick, we should be able to run through these bans, just banning out random things. Maybe. Yeah, we're just going to ban the A's. And then, once we run through that, we will be able to finally see the last couple picks here. And I'm excited. I think that there's going to be a lot of action. I mean, we have Rengar, who has to get in early. We have Ashe, once they hit level 6, super strong. Graves and Gnar, both doing lots of things.
Well, that's going to be huge with that Orianna pick. Yeah, I feel like Supernova Galaxy's team comp is just going to be extremely explosive with the amount of pick potential and how many the ultimates, and just how everything has to be so extremely calculated. You know, you have to time everything really, really well to work this comp. And so with that being said, all of it's just going to collide at once. Ashe arrows and Rengar jumping in, Nautilus hooking. Okay, so it looks like it is. So the Xin Zhao was the placeholder for the Gnar on the side of Syndicate.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. I don't know why we were thinking Xin Zhao, because we already saw the Graves, but that's fine. So we see the full team comps now. The Sona is different. It's not something that we've been seeing really at all So to see that get picked up is a little interesting. I'm excited for it. I mean, I've known a few Sona mains in the past, and they just kind of do stuff, and it works out for them, and it's definitely super annoying in lane to deal with.
Yeah, I like the pick as well. I'm not sure how it would match up against the push priority of Lulu Ashe lane, but definitely once it starts getting to the mid-game and team fighting stage, it would synergize well with the rest of the team on Syndicate with the Gnar and the Orianna ultimates. I mean, she could have went with something like Karma, which fills a similar niche, but doesn't have that same AoE CC that Sona does, so I think it's a really intelligent pick.
Yeah, having the crescendo into a shockwave could absolutely decimate the backline of Syndicate, so it's something that we're going to have to see get rolling. If Sona can fall behind, then she can end up dropping before crescendo even gets out, and that's a big loss for a team fight. That's something that can't happen if they want to keep winning the fights.
Yeah, and similar to Nami, you know, if they get picks onto that Sona, she can almost just act like Meals on Wheels for Supernova Galaxy, and they can just kind of get fed off her and start to run Syndicate around just a little bit more than they normally could have.
Yeah, and Gnar Nautilus is something that we have been seeing a little bit more of lately in the competitive scene. It's one of those picks that I think I would be hesitant to pick up just because of the unreliability of the Gnar. Obviously, you need to play around with the Gnar bar and work your teleports into it. But that being said, it's definitely a pretty worthwhile pick just to keep the Nautilus down, don't you think?
Yeah, I agree. It'll help to make the Nautilus a little bit more pressured when he's trying to farm. And if you can scale up above that Nautilus, Gnar has better damage than Nautilus does and can kite him around, so if you can do that well, then that'll be extremely helpful for Syndicate to keep down that front line.
So, looking at these team comps, is there anything really that stands out to you that you're excited to watch for? Like anything maybe early on, mid-game, stuff like that?
Not particularly. I mean, even considering like Pro Play and LCS and all those guys, pretty standard comps, especially looking at the one that Supernova Galaxy has drafted for themselves with Nautilus and now Vladimir, making a resurgence like I said before. So I think it'll be probably just easy farming, nothing too crazy gonna happen until we start getting ultimates and then they start trying to bash each other's faces in.
Now, we've seen, some competitive games kind of fall apart due to having an AP top and an AP mid. Now, Nautilus is a tank, but 90% of his damage is ability power. Do you think that makes it a little bit too easy for the Gnar to itemize? I mean, even Graves can pick up an early Hex Drinker and then just be unkillable at that point.
I think it depends completely on whether or not the bot lane and the jungler on the side of Supernova Galaxy gets rolling, because then it would be not wise for Graves to pick up some MR and probably opt for some armor or a Styrax Gauge most likely to try to combat some of the damage that would come from those lanes. That being said though, yeah, I do think it would be a little bit difficult for them to itemize against this if those AP threats start getting rolling.
Alright, so 20 seconds remaining, life's on the line. Who do you think's going to win this game?
That's a tough one. I mean, both these comps are sort of similar in their execution. It takes a lot of synergy and coordination to try to get them rolling, and if one piece sort of falls, then the whole thing collapses. So I think it's, I really can't tell off the, and having not seen these players play before, can't really tell just off the face value, but just the sheer fact of traditional team comps, I would have to give it slight edge to Supernova Galaxy, because they do have a stronger front line in Vladimir Nautilus, and if Vladimir gets rolling, he is just so oppressive and annoying. He just does tons of damage and you can't kill him. He'll pull, and it's just he's just runs through team fights and destroys your team.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of Vladimir come back into play along with the Proto Belt build, and it's just it is a little impressive. I mean, we see these Vladimirs are just popping off, running in, getting, like double kills, triple kills just due to the Proto Belt damage. It seems like that is the pick, and coming into something super safe like Orianna, I almost feel like the Vladimir team has such an advantage there.
Yeah, and on the side of Syndicate, I was talking about earlier how they went with the Sona rather than a similar pick like Karma, and Karma does have that small interaction where she can lock down and keep the chain on Vladimir while he's in his pool. So if he is able to dodge a lot of their CC abilities, which they don't have very many of, it's really just the Crescendo, Orianna's Shockwave, and a Caitlyn trap, and then the Gnar. If he's able to dodge all of that, then he's gonna have free reign against the Syndicate lineup.
Yeah, and I mean, I do expect a Morello's picked up first item for the Orianna. It's something that's kind of been fallen by the wayside, is a lot of teams aren't picking up the necessary items to deal with the Vladimir, and so it almost seems like he's a bit stronger than he's supposed to be just due to that fact. So I am excited to see how it plays out in the end, to see if the teams are ready for this pick, because there's quite a few squishies on the Supernova side.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to digress a little bit, I'm still really curious about what that spectator bug is at the beginning, where it like freezes for a little bit.
You know what? At the end of the day, I'll take that over the old spectator bugs where it just simply won't load and you can't play and you can't spectate. I'll definitely take that. The 30-second delay, which actually it used to happen. I think on the new client it just looks a little different. It used to actually just tick back 30 seconds for whatever reason after the 3-minute delay, and then just not play, or it would play from then on in. So now it's a little bit darker. So it's nothing we're not used to just yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you guys can certainly see on the mini maps, both junglers and teams fading out towards that bot side, with the junglers going towards their respective top sides. A little bit surprised that we're not seeing the standard Graves start, where with the help of the mid laner starts Raptors, but I have a feeling that Supernova Galaxy will be doing that similar start.
Yeah, I do believe that it's still early enough. They can fall back. They know where the enemy's jungler is starting, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I believe that will give a slight edge in XP over to Stunned if he does do that start. It doesn't look like he is going to opt for it, at least right now. They could, like you said, they could still move for it.
Although Graves is kind of a farming jungler. I mean, we've seen time and time again that Graves just does a full clear. He has the mobility and the tankiness to really take his entire jungle and not worry about it, and even sometimes still gank then. Whereas Rengar's not quite as, easy to do it that way. Oh!
Did they just...
Oh no!
Oh, that...
Raccoon!
Okay, so yeah, Raccoon
Living...
just stole a red buff from Stun. That is...
Unlucky. Raccoon,
man,
though. Raccoon's living up to his...
So bad.
He's living up to his kind of thievery name, and...
I think it was planned, though. He is doing a great job of
I don't think it was planned.
Oh, man, that sucks so bad. That is going to play huge into these early games. You can already see that Stun is moving up towards the Tree Bros top side to try to steal this red away, but
he is a level behind.
If he gets caught out, though, this will be extremely bad. Yeah, and this alleviates so much pressure from the side of Syndicate, because now Stunned isn't even, he's not going to be close to strong enough to gank, and he needs that level 6 if he wants to get a good gank off. He can still gank, pre-6, but it's not as strong, and it has to be a little bit of an interesting setup. This gives Treebro a lot of room to start ganking and making plays, invading, simply because that he missed that level 2.
Yeah, and then being a level behind, even though he had the jump on it, there's just no way he could have contested for the enemy red buff. But like you were saying, it is going to leave a little bit of a question going forward. How can he contest with this Graves?
Yeah, and you can already see Treebro is actually doing just that, and is going to invade onto Stun and see if you can keep him even more down. So what you want to be doing as a jungler when you have a lead like that. Can't imagine that the bot lane of Syndicate didn't start clamoring about Raccoon having a red buff. That's just... How does that happen?
It was due to the Pix auto attack. They tried to give him a super crazy leash, and they stayed for one auto attack too long, unfortunately.
Oh man, that hurts so much.
And in any other lane, I feel, had the Sona not been there, had they had the Karma or even a melee support, I feel like it would have been a lot more impactful than it was.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. I mean, they do have the pressure on them. It's not really amounting to much, as there's only a 7 CS lead on the side of Supernova Galaxy, so nothing too huge there unless that compounds into something even greater later into this game.
Yeah, I mean, the heals from Sona definitely add up, even in the early game, so it's what's kept them really in this lane. We saw at the level 1 how low they got, and so now, like, under normal circumstances, that's a huge lead if you can do it correctly. And had they planned that, which again I don't think they did, it might have actually simply just won the lane at that point, especially off a non-healing support.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. But it looks like Stunned is passing down towards that bot lane, taking a visit to his fellow Galaxies. Nothing's gonna come of that one, and they even have that the other brush awarded. And Steven's taking some really heavy poke. Both supports taking lots of poke.
Both junglers, though, sending down the scrying plant just to see what, maybe if the gank was coming through the wings, coming through the river. Once they realize they're not there, they are going to back off. And I'm kind of surprised. I was expecting a bit more jungle interaction.
Yeah, me too, especially considering it's such a huge deficit to be playing from. But, I mean, considering that it's still early anyone's game right now, red buffs aside. And it looks like going to this mid lane, we haven't really been talking about that much. Wispy is going to opt for... Oh! He went for a Spectre's Cowl, but then just opted out of that. Looks like he's going to be going for the Negatron Cloak. So I think he's going for an Abyssal Scepter rather than the Spirit Visage. At least this early. I think it's a smart buy, considering that it gives him a lot more magic resist.
He's also a bit ahead. Does have about a wave lead. So it's nothing crazy. And we're not seeing any really crazy CS advantages coming out just yet. But Stunned, definitely going to throw down the ward and immediately lose it, unfortunately.
Yeah, a bit of a bummer. You know, thinking about, I don't know why I keep stuck thinking about that red buff. It's just, I mean, even beyond that though, these teams both of them are playing just a little, with a lot of restraint, it seems. Except for the bot lane. I think the bot lane is where the most trading has been happening. But even in the top lane, almost exact in CS, so it seems like this Gnar pick isn't really being the oppressor that we imagined he would be in this laning phase.
Yeah, I do want to get your opinion on the Ashe build, though. Starting with Cutlass, when normally we've been seeing an Essence Reaver start.
Oh, the new hotness. The new hotness, that is the Bork Renon's, what is it? Cleaver, yes. Bork Renon's Cleaver build, where you get a lot of attack speed, you get a lot of lifesteal, and then you start hitting multiple targets with the Renons, and because of the Q, you just start stacking. You really quickly stack those Black Cleaver stacks onto them, so it'll be doing a lot of damage later, and it's really also effective for shredding tanks too, considering it gives the percentage health drain from the Black Cleaver, or from the Bork rather, and then the armor pen reduction, or the armor reduction from Black Cleaver.
So that is actually pretty different from what we're used to seeing there. Like I was saying, it usually is a Essence Reaver into Renans, and it almost seems like a more expensive version of it.
Sort of. The Essence Reaver build line, I believe, is more used for the utility of the ultis. Say if the Ashe already has a lot of damage, say like a fed mid laner or a carry top laner on their team, it helps to facilitate those engages and try to put some CC for those characters to get some damage down. It looks like Raccoon going for an aggressive invade, stun, jumping on them. Altera is forced to flash that wall. It's like nothing more is going to come of that though.
Oh, Raccoon! So the jump comes in, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow soon to follow. The trap, though, gives the kill over to Fully Noited. Wisp comes in, gets tagged up. The Ignite is down. Will he get the kill? The counter Ignite secures the 1-for-1. Stunned takes a tower shot, gets out for now. Will he run into Treebro, though? He does. Why didn't Directed see that? Directed decided to... That's awkward. But the red buff onto Seeley should seal the deal. Treebro should be able to get this one. Forces the heal, though, and doesn't end up with the kill.
That's a lot of summoners ball. And it's like we were talking about earlier, once they start getting these ultimates, hitting those level 6 is when stuff starts popping off. Raccoon especially with a sick blast cone play.
Did he do it on purpose?
Yeah. Knock Steven over the slim wall into the river. Into an Ash arrow. That was genius.
I don't even know how I would feel if I'm Steven right there. I'm like, oh, what just happened? Why am I on the wrong side of the wall?
Yeah, definitely. I think he was a little bit flustered too. He still has his flash and his exhaust up.
I mean, when you get blast coned into a pile of enemies, I feel like it's better to just save those summoners for the next time, maybe. But oh, what a play!
Yeah,
if that was calculated, then I can forgive Raccoon for stealing that red buff.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way that wasn't calculated. He saw him right on it, and he was like, you know, I'm gonna do it. This is the play that I've dreamed of ever since they released Plants, and it's coming to fruition.
If you looked at the Plants update and was like, I'm gonna kill somebody with a blast cone. Well, actually, that happens all the time. Never mind. I was gonna say, but in like that situation, that's actually the first time I've ever seen that particular blast cone be used offensively. Although it seems like it might be one of the easier ones to do it with.
Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised myself considering I didn't think Lulu's auto attack range was that big, but to be a little bit more serious about the implications of that last play, Treebro right now sitting on 1, 0, and 2. He's if he keeps rolling, if he doesn't get shut down, he's going to become an enormous threat. The
Depth charge onto Wenrer, but this is bad for them. The Gnar comes in, throws him under tower. Stunned, forced to use the ultimate. He's going aggressively, though. Gets tagged under towers. Red buff comes in. Treebro picking up the second kill of his game.
Yeah, almost a little bit of a fiesta play considering the uncoordinated nature of that last one. Tavis King took a little bit too many tower shots too close, and they didn't play around that Gnar bar like you were talking about. Just the odds stacked against them, and Gnar bar just came up when it needed to pull Tavis King under that one and pull out two kills for Syndicate, and that'll put 2-0-2 on Treebro, who's going to keep rolling even more.
Yeah, and he's picking up the Caulfield's Hammer, will be picking up the Warrior Enchant very soon, and it's a little late comparatively. I mean, he's almost 40 CS over his opponent, who already finished his jungle item, although he did have an earlier back time, and now that we see him go back, he's able to finish his item, pick up boots, and then even some more damage. So Treebro's definitely on the right path this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Syndicate right now is 2,000 gold up, and looking at the individual gold numbers on the side of Syndicate, that's almost 1,300 gold lead on the jungler alone. So a lot of that gold lead is resting inside of Treebro.
And we see the Frozen Mallet pick up on the Gnar. It was meta. It was almost 100% the way you built that champion before, and it was very oppressive to tanks who couldn't get away quickly, especially in mini Gnar. But what we just saw in that top lane trade, once the dredge line landed, plus the W shield coming in, it took like 9 auto attacks just to get through the shields.
Yeah, so I think what we're seeing up there is that the Nautilus tank scaling is a little bit quicker than Gnar is able to get the damage. He does have a kill over him, but that's not really amounting to much considering, you know, it's a similar wet noodle fights that we've grown all too used to in this League of Legends meta.
Yeah, I'm surprised we're still seeing tanks in the top lane. Personally, I'd prefer it if we put tanks back in the jungle. You know, more Rek'Sai, Gragas, Olaf, and get back to like Camille, Fiora top lanes. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, that was pretty entertaining. And with Stoneborn Pact being added in these last patches, I think we might see a resurgence of those tank junglers. But speaking of junglers, looks like The one for Syndicate's going to start up. Oop, this
Enchanted
Cloud
Crystal
Trade.
Arrow does miss. Shockwave lands onto Just Stunned. He gets annihilated with the collateral damage. Dredgeline coming in onto Fully Anointed. Gets wiped out. 80 carry down on one side for the jungler. Wenner forced to jump away. Gnar comes in. The flash in from Wisp, though. Can he get anything done? Gnar lands just on the Tavis. They're trying to get the kill. Seeley taking huge damage from that rock. But the dragon should be safe to get away.
It looks like it'll be just a 1-for-1 trade, jungler for 80 carry. Definitely smart for Syndicate to start up this dragon while they do have an enormous jungle lead, and they will return back to that one and surely pick that one up. No jungler.
Oh, good. Dredgeline onto Steven. Dragon goes down. Depth charge going in as well.
Treebro is just going to get over the wall, I anticipate? Yep.
So
it's gonna
actually,
get right over that wall.
Raccoon's taken super low. Alternate Fate getting downed. Wisp doing everything he can to keep his team in this fight. Stunned makes an appearance once again. No jump coming in there. Bola comes down. Should seal the deal. Double kill for Stunned. So, not a bad fight for Syndicate.
Yeah, I'd actually give the slight edge over to Supernova Galaxy, considering that they were able to pick up 3 kills and only losing the at 4 kills rather, because they were able to take out Fully Anointed for simply just a Cloud Drake. So I believe Supernova Galaxy might actually be able to get down this tier 1 mid tower, which would be huge.
Yeah, if you can get 4 kills and a tower at the cost of a measly Cloud Drake, it's nicknamed the Clown Drake for a reason.
Yeah, that showcases it right there, which with that tower take will actually even up the gold score, but Fully Anointed is trying to take a tower for himself and his team. Not sure if he's going to be able to get this one down. Raccoon's the only one here to respond, and well, measly Lulu. Maybe enough to sway them off the tower, and it is.
For now, at least, it's definitely not long for this world at its current HP, but this top lane is still kind of... Oh, yeah, see, there it goes. Although, Stunned coming in. Will he go for the kill? He gets the knock up onto Fully Anointed. 90 caliber net. Crescendo gonna land as well. You Stunned with the double Q, though. Gets the kill. They can't seem to get away from the bushes. Stevano still has no flash.
Ooh. Wow, what a big play there for Stunned, able to pick up the double kill on there. And that's just showing the power that the Lulu pick has when you pair it up with the Knife Cat.
Knife Cat. So, with the kills going down both in the top and bottom lane, this should be a 1-for-1 tower trade again. Although, Syndicate was able to pick up the bottom tier 1 first, so they are going to come out a little bit ahead here.
Treebro, yeah, made the intelligent play of going up there. As soon as he saw that play happen down bottom, he's able to get the tower first, but that'll still mean slightly equal. It's really intelligent from Treebro and Syndicate to equal that one out. He's done a pretty good job of having vision control too. I've seen him frequently taking out wards in the rivers, placing a few of his own. I wonder how many control wards he's bought so far. But he's been doing a really good job controlling river.
Yeah, and one thing I do like to see out of junglers is, as cool and useful as the new smites are, vision game is still king. So to see Treebro pick up that the warding smite, it definitely shows that he's committed to keeping his team out of the dark.
Yeah, and especially with the team comp like the one that Supernova Galaxy has drafted for themselves, and having that vision is absolutely key so that you don't get picked off. So it looks like they're start grouping up now. Supernova Galaxy has sent their AD carry a top lane.
Another big gank coming up in the bot lane. Tavis King gets slowed up by the red buff, by the frozen mallet. Almost no way to escape, no flash available. Will be going down. Treebro.
So strong.
Shockwave once again onto Stunned, but is it enough? The trap stops you Stunned in his tracks. Crescendo also being used there, though.
Yeah, used defensively. That's some pretty key ultimates down now for Syndicate. So if there's an opportunity for Supernova Galaxy to try to make a play happen here, force the fight, it would be now.
Top tier 1 does get taken down. Can they trade in the mid lane, though? They don't exactly have the minion wave.
Yeah, the tower's Tower's not really much to try to give themselves a lead, but it will help to open up the map a little bit more to play around.
TP coming in. Tavis King's going to be behind the rest. He doesn't have depth charge, though. I don't think they have the tools to collapse.
I think it was a little bit too far of a TP.
Yeah, plus the move speed from Stevano definitely coming in pretty clutch there.
Yeah, I agree. And now they have a TP advantage, but with no dragons or outer turrets being up, it's not really going to amount to much. Well, Baron will be up in approximately 50 seconds. Not really sure either team would want to go for that, though.
Yeah, it does seem a little early at 20 minutes to go right for it, especially with neither team really having an advantage, with the gold lead dead even for now. But we'll have to see which team can really keep the waves in their favor.
So, I'm noticing Steven's build. 4 fairy charms. Man is important, but he doesn't have a slot to get control wards. Okay, yeah, he turned him into... There he goes. Alright, it was calculated. Yeah. It was just... It actually works. It was just a little bit amusing to see 4 fairy charms in there.
Yeah, definitely going for that redemption. It is such a good item in the current meta. And that's going to be coming out very quickly for both supports.
Yeah, I think it would actually be pretty funny if Steven uses that redemption defensively on top of the rest of the Wumbo combo ultimates. So give a little nudge to the team's damage. Looks like this dragon will be spawning soon. It is an Infernal Drink, which is extremely important for both teams.
Gets caught out, eats the boomerang, blows the ultimate, trying to get away, but there's just no escape here. Gets taken down, shut down coming in for Fully Anointed with the dragon in now, actually.
Yeah, I think that'll pretty much just be the dragon unless Supernova Galaxy can team fight them for this one.
Oh, Raccoon gets popped up, 3-man Crescendo comes in. There's so much damage coming in. Stuns are landing onto Wispe and Tavis. Can they get away with this Frozen Mallet? I don't think they can. Flash from Sealace trying to keep himself alive. Wisp, though, gets tagged up, slowed down, should be going down. No transfusion available. Shutdown coming in. Actually going over to Steven. So that's not no bueno.
Yeah, that is huge. On the surface, though, it looked like Syndicate was about to walk into the entirety of Supernova Galaxy's squad. But Altera Fate almost blows up the Lulu. Damage wasn't quite enough, but ends up dying anyway in the end. And then Treebro was able to clean up that dragon while his team was cleaning up the enemy team. So just a one fight on all fronts for Syndicate.
Yeah, I feel like they maybe shouldn't have gone for the fight after seeing that their jungler was dead. You stunned, though, already getting slowed up. Gets the empowered Bola stun, though. So he will survive this engagement with the prehistoric beast.
Yeah, Treebro can definitely carry this one out. His objective could... Yeah, he does so much damage to neutral objectives right now. And like you saw earlier, just able to solo that one down while his team was fighting.
Yeah, I mean, we already see the Yomu's Ghostblade finished up with the Warrior Enchant. Not quite sure what he's going for next. Double Ruby into a Longsword. That should be a Black Cleaver.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Black Cleaver should be pretty good. Try to shred some of the tank, some of the armor that's on Tavis King. Right now, though, stunned and the rest of his team.
We'll have to see what happens here.
Both teams doing a great job of pathing around this Baron and trying to get some respective vision control, but Treebro really, really good at controlling the vision, so denying and adding some of his own.
Do Syndicate go for the Force on this Baron, or do they just try and wait it out, get a pick, and then go for it?
Well, seeing as their only tank is Gnarl,
actually taking tons of damage. The collateral damage misses! Wild Growth comes in, keeping stunned alive for now. Stevano takes so much damage, gets the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Crescendo keeps himself alive, though. Wisp flashes the wall to take that kill for himself. Meanwhile, Fully Anointed able to take out the remaining Rengar health. Ooh, Distortion. Huge damage there.
Treebro is massive. How did he not die to Vladimir? Ends up flashing and misses the collateral damage. Still is able to come out on top on that one. And looks like they're just going to siege down mid lane.
They have the inner track. They can get here well before Supernova can.
Yeah, looking at this, I believe it's just going to be
Wisp gets slowed up, Nard into the wall, dodges out the wallop stun, but I don't think he can get out of this. One more auto, there's the rock from the back of the head, ends up going down. Mid lane tower also getting taken down. Double distortion, so much damage coming in, not able to trade it back. Trebro survives with a fraction of HP. Whew.
Fantastic job of demonstrating why everyone considers Graves to be the S+ tier jungler right now. Just destroys. Even on the Nautilus, who's got a Sunfire Cape and Ninja Tabbies, wrecks through his health bar. Now they're just going to start a Baron, and there's not really anything Supernova Galaxy can do about this one.
Yeah, Stunned is just so far away. Baron goes down. We heard the On the Hunt get popped, I believe. Yep, On the Hunt was popped, but it's not exactly in a position to do anything with it.
And honestly, if I'm the other teams in Phoenix League right now, I am extremely fearful of the Syndicate squad, especially Trebro, doing a fantastic job of carrying this one.
Yeah, 5-1-6, Black Cleaver completed, and we don't actually see the Black Cleaver for the Ashe going for the Infinity Edge third.
No, Caitlyn rather. Yeah, Caitlyn went for the. Oh no, you're right. Because she does have the Cloak of Agility and the pickaxe.
So it's not. Yeah, it's not quite completed yet. It's definitely getting there.
I think she's going for that one because they don't have a lot of armor, so it's kind of redundant.
Yeah, I mean,
to go for the Black Cleaver rather than the Infinity Edge because they're not. She's not working against a lot of armor.
Yeah, I mean,
it's only the Nars. Only the Nars Ninja Tabbies.
So, Dragon in a minute and a half. It is another Infernal Drake. So we see Wenner setting up in this bottom lane, getting a huge wave pushed in here, though. But they are wrapping around. Tavis trying to get in it. The ace in the hole and Crescendo going to miss. Altar of Fate forced to flash away, but this tower is going to go down. Now Tavis is taken super duper low. Boomerang going to land. Can they get the kill? Trebro's trying. Wild Growth comes in. 3-man Shockwave gets dodged out. Wisp, though, taken super low. Stun trying to get out. Cannot. This is a disaster for Supernova Galaxy. The redemption not quite in time. Not going to get the kill. Fully Noited picks up that double kill. But can Tavis survive as the sole man on his team?
They don't want to stop. Wenner.
I think this is game. 20-second death timers, only Tavis alive, full wave coming in here, and that is going to be game. Syndicate are going to pick up their first win in Phoenix League, and what a way to close it out.
Yeah, that just happened so quick. 26-minute victory. It's just like after level 6, that one fight just kind of threw it all away for Supernova Galaxy, and Syndicate was able to come away with that one. Trebro did a fantastic job. Really impressive plays coming from him. Just his map control. Even, I mean, this might be a little bit slight, but even if you just look towards the top lane, there's an enormous wave pushing for Syndicate. So even if they weren't able to make that play, they would have come out with something at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, very, very clean coming out from them. You were right earlier. I would be a little concerned if I'm the other teams in Phoenix League right now.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the damage charts right now, seeing that Wenner on Gnar actually did the most damage, but that can be a little bit deceiving because of, top laners just trading back and forth and then healing them back up.
Yeah, I mean, that is a little bit... I mean, Gnar put in a ton of work, was constantly getting multi-man Gnars, and was super able to keep in the game and keep his team in the game, and not really too concerned with trying to, just survive. He was not as dominant as we thought he would be, but was definitely able to put in the work required to keep his team in there. And like you said, the damage numbers don't lie. 15,000 damage on the Gnar. Wait, hold on. This can't be right. Alright, I was looking at the wrong number. Alright, that's why. I'm looking at this, I'm like 720 damage for the Orianna and 640 damage. Alright, that seems a little off, but no, yeah. So it's actually 19,000 damage for the Gnar, followed closely by his Orianna mid. So overall, not a bad game for either side. I mean, Ash did put in work. Ash was the shining star for Supernova.
Yeah, Supernova Galaxy.
So it wasn't the end of the world for them. They did what they could, but it just seemed to not exactly pan out at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree. And to touch a little bit upon Treebro, keep talking about Treebro. His vision control, looking at wards destroyed now, had the most wards destroyed in the game at 9, with the closest being a Raccoon on Supernova Galaxy at 7 wards. I believe, let me see how many wards he placed. Yeah, had 19 wards placed. It was the most out of the entire game, excluding the supports.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at, the vision control, that is so clutch. Wards win games. It's been true since Season 2, and it's going to continue staying true for basically ever. But that being said, guys, fantastic play coming out of Syndicate there. They are going to be taking that W to the bank. So stay tuned while we take a short break. We're going to set up the next set of games. And the next teams we're going to be seeing are Super Deadly Killer Ninjas versus Supernova Galaxy. So we do get to see them try and crawl back and take a W for themselves. Stay tuned for that, guys. We're going to be right back with that.